Good morning, Mr. Butler.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
Morning.
Okay. Would you like to stand at the, so they can get your best side?
Which is my best side?
That, just there. That's it. Whoa, just there. That's your best
Just here,
side.
like this.
That's your best side, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I just said to Harry, let me get your best side. Let me get your best side, and your other side is there.
Is it?
Oh, it's sun coming on you.
I can't stop many minutes.
Oh, that's all right.
I've got a job to do.
Oh well, you're the artist this time. You're the principal at the minute. Yeah. You're all right then. That's it. That's
Right.
it. Thank you. Yeah.
You're down.
You're going out, are you?
I've got to. I'm a full day's programme.
A full day programme. Oh, lovely.
About 5,000 plants one setting out.
Setting out.
Yeah, pricking out.
Are you setting out today then, or just?
Oh, just pricking out.
Oh, that's it. Oh, we've probably seen a few minutes then, or later on this morning.
Yeah.
Right, that's it. Thank you very much.
All right, okay then.
Yeah, lovely.
We're going to have a look round the lawn.
Yes, I will have a look round anyway. See you in a bit then.
Well, you can get the view from here, can you?
Yeah.
Get Madge to go among the plant there.
Good morning.
I beg your pardon?
Good morning.
He said good morning.
Good morning. It isn't a good morning.
Yeah.
How's Dorothy?
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Here we are.
Scribbling.
Yeah. Have you got time to stand against a chip shop?
Pardon?
Have you got time to stand against a chip shop?
Yeah, I'll just go and turn me down.
Oh, that's all right.
What's... Just me?
Just have you. But go across there, Harry, please. Because I'm going to go across road in a minute.
Oh.
That's it. How many?
1956 to 1981.
Yes, a long time since.
25 years exactly, Ernie. Tell him 25 years.
Yeah, well, it's exactly 25 years.
Oh.
1956 to 1981.
Okay.
8 years since it came out now, is it?
Pardon?
8 years since it came out
Yes.
here?
Yeah?
Coming up exactly, end of January.
No, it isn't. 8 years.
Nine.
Nine?
Nine.
Nine years.
Last
Yeah.
February.
Yeah,
Ah,
Nine last February.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
it did make you old, doesn't it, when you think about it?
Well, we are.
They've got a bit grey since then. No wonder, is there?
No.
What I've had to put up with.
My God, what?
That's it. Anyway, thank you very much. That's
Right,
lovely.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I'll go and...
We'll play that back on the telly.
I'm looking after his stomach now.
Now that you do
It's
it.
the usual hobby of mine.
That's it.
Catering to his corporation.
That's good.
I want a cup of coffee. when
Anyway,
he's finished.
see ya.
Right, all then,
I
yeah.
love you, Dorothy.
I want a cup of coffee when he's done.
Right.
Just go across the top.
Here we get chip shopping again.
Lovely. Hello, Bill. You'll have got all this on your wedding photo, haven't you?
Some on it anyway. But we'll graft a
Used to
bit
see
more.
that was the old station hotel.
That will,
The old station hotel at one time.
that's true.
Yeah. Got a shot of that from me. The butcher's, Fred Butcher's shop, which is now, it was Alf Morrison's shop, clothes and shoes and things. And the station hotel that Mr. and Mrs. Thacker had. Three cottages. We lived in the end one, and at one time it all belonged to what's the post office now.
That white one you'll be up on?
Yeah, that's the one we lived in from for 30 years actually. From again 56, the same year as we come to the fish shop, until 1986. So we moved where we are now. Years ago, those cottages was all one property belonging to what's the post office?
Post office, yeah. That's it. Now we'll walk back and then you'll tell me if there's something to back on me.
yeah, keep going. You're all right.
Cool.
You're going to get this in.
Well, yes.
This is the Jubilee Garden. Done for the Jubilee 1952 to 1977. Southernton worked hard here. Well, that's now the youth club. St Andrew's Church, was it, where you got married?
St Andrews, wasn't it?
Yeah, St Andrew's. Then going further back behind you, that was the post office house, well before the war. That was where Mr. and Mrs. Ford lived, and the post office was actually at the end of the house there. Walnut House, this is.
At that end of the house?
Oh, yes, at the end of the house there used to be the post office. Mrs. Ford lives here now. She's the widow of the eldest son. Not the eldest son, widow of the son of the people that used to have it all those years. That was bakers, grocers and general store with a bakehouse at the back.
What post office is now?
Well, where the post office is now. There used to be a bakehouse there. Same with Antlitz on the corner. Behind you, the one behind you.
We'll get to that in a minute.
That's the Saxilby coat of arms.
Oh wow, mustn't forget that.
Created for the work that Jeff Ford did for the village.
That's quite good, isn't it, really?
Yeah. The brick building that is part of this property used to be a blacksmith shop when I went to school.
Like that one?
Yeah. I started school in 1923, and I remember it was a blacksmith shop then.
There's been a bit in Foss Focus 2 or 3 times about the printers, you know, as used to be.
Oh, that's further down.
Ah,
That's just before you turn up Highfield Road. Stebbins is. Well, there. And this one on the corner, Antcliffe's, it was a baker's. Old Billy Redford, there was a bakehouse here. Where people, when they killed pigs, they used to bring the pork pies up here to be baked, you know. The White House here was belonged to Cotton. Miss Cotton had this, and there was a shop here, and she did all pork stuff, homemade sausages, pork pies, and all that kind of thing. This one here. Plastered, that used to be the entrance to the bakehouse. Down there, William Street.
Just have a look back up straight again. Andy, you'll see some of this again on another piece of film just to put onto it, you see.
Yeah. Cheese board now with Miss Harrison's. Fred and Miss Harrison's sweets and a bit of green grocery and that kind of thing. On all this.
Oh well, that's it.
That's
Well, you're not beyond it all, but
no, and you've got to.
yeah, but when I'm taking pictures up street again, I'm getting a better picture. The sun's not shining in the lens. You understand? That's good.
No,
Where the paper shop is?
where the paper shop. I can remember one. But the next one where Pop and the butcher is. I used to do the butcher shop practically all the time I can remember. Old Harold Sargent had it, I remember. Sargent was a well-known name in the village. Of cottages that was called Prospect Terrace.
This was.
Yeah, here up to the where those houses, but Prospect Terrace came up to the street from that wall there. Hello. Across the road let me see. The second one down used to be the police station, where they had a couple of cells at the back.
Whereabouts is that one?
The second one from the corner, there was a row of 4 houses,
What,
4 villa-type houses there.
Where Pam lived?
At this side of Pam,
This ended it?
used to be the police station.
Did it?
The Mr. and Mrs. Burton lived on the right, and the police house, that was the police house, was the cells.
That one with little windows?
Yes, that one, on the left, number 11.
And there was just a cell that did it, eh?
There was.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Lock up, just ordinary lock up.
Who was policeman at that time?
Oh, crimey. Oh, Sergeant Bishop.
Did he live there as well?
I reckon he lived there, and I reckon the constable lived there. I'm not sure if I remember right, but Sergeant Bishop, I remember was well known at the time. But the chemist had always been there. In the olden days, it was a man called Pentney, Mr. Pentney. Terrace used to come to. At the end of Prospect Terrace, there was a lean-to shop that Alf Jubb had, with hardware and all that kind of thing. He used to sell paraffin. In the yard here, he used to have a van and go around the country. Then next to Jubb's was the primitive chapel, the primitive Methodist chapel, down here.
That's where the fire station is.
Well,
now,
just to
that.
the right of the fire station.
Is it right?
would be.
No.
Because after the chapel there was a little row of cottages on here, 3 or 4, that was known to us in the younger days as Pantry's Row. 'Cause obviously Mr. and Mrs. Pantry lived in it. And then this was, it was a carpenter's shop. Old Fred Dove had it as a carpenter's shop.
This one that's recently been rebuilt.
Yeah, that was a carpenter's shop. As I say, Fred Dove had it. And then at the end, there was Mrs. Watson, lived here, who else lived here, and then was the old Globe Inn. It used to be a pub up till 1937.
What, just here?
Just here on the right.
Did it?
Yeah, they closed it when they built the new bridge on Gainsborough Road.
Yeah.
Took the licence from it. Jack Clifford kept it.
I think this, because when I came into the village, this used to be a jub shop.
That's
here.
right, you've shot moved down.
Yeah.
So that's left.
And so that's where the pub would have been, would it, at that time?
Yeah, you say it was jug shop. Years, like 37. Or about that time, I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
But
it would have been the pub.
But it was known as the Globe Inn.
Yeah. I take the water chemist again then.
Where the shop was, and you can be like you had it last. Now this is Alf's nephew.
Oh, we're on video, are we?
Oh, yes, yeah.
This is Keith, who had the shop known as Jub Shop when you first came.
Oh, well, listen, I remember that.
In actual fact, that when you got on the bus at Lincoln and wanted to come to Saxilby, and you wanted to get off at this stop behind you,
Yes.
Yeah.
you used to ask for Jub's
Jub
Corner.
shop, that's it,
Yeah.
Jub's Corner, that's
Yeah.
it.
They're on Jub's Corner now.
But I didn't realise it were a pub until I was just said so,
Yeah, until 1934.
which is very
34, was it?
interesting. Yeah.
Ah, I know
Yeah,
that
it closed down as a pub in 34, and then Chris Shaw bought it
Yeah.
off Mowbray's brewery, then
But
sold it to Alf in 47.
What we're trying to do, we're wondering about with Harry now, you know, just reminiscing, so to speak,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
this is important, I think, as
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
as we can find these things. But as I say, I've been in village now 25 years, and I didn't realise as that were a pub, you know, until
No.
such a recent time as 34.
The
you
Globe.
see.
yes, it was, yeah.
Globe, yeah.
And the licence, as I say, went down to the bridge.
Yeah. It was just a beer house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't sell any spirits here.
Jack,
Just
No,
Jack
no.
Clifford had it.
That's it, of course. Anyway, thank you very much. That's lovely, that.
very welcome. It doesn't look much like it used to, but
Oh, well, it changed, didn't it? But like
Yeah.
I explained about Prospect Terrace and where the lean-to shop used to be, the primitive chapel,
yeah.
Pantry's Row, and
Yeah,
know,
my father came over one August bank holiday, gave his weeks, when he only had a week's annual holiday in 1932 or 3, and built that lean-to shed for Alf.
Did he?
Yeah, that was a week's work. That was his week's bank holiday, and Alf paid him for it.
Ah.
He thought it was great. He had a week's holiday free food, and he got paid for it as well.
They did many a long service, didn't they? There's some trading in it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Fred Dove had a carpenter's shop where your garage is.
I've got a photograph of that garage, but there's a Sunday school out. He set him up from out here.
Ah, yeah.
Horse-drawn.
But there'd be three wagons.
And his workshop was the
Yeah.
second garage along there.
Yeah.
And then he moved from there during the war and went into a workshop above my existing workshop.
Did
Yeah. He had the upstairs as a workshop during
I
the war years.
remember before the war, because he was carpenter to a fellow called Lilly,
Oh yeah.
Wilf
Yeah.
Lilly at Icon. Because Fred's father, of course, was Sunday school superintendent at the primitive.
Yeah.
And Lilly was a local preacher, and he got in with the Fred somehow or other.
Yeah, there used to be a big tree growing here,
Yeah.
and Alf couldn't get the gateway to bring his van into his garage without cutting it down. It was a lovely big tree.
Ah.
He cut that down to...
Is it a sideboard now then?
Pardon?
Is it a sideboard now?
I don't know. No, I think it was firewood, knowing Alf.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you get the chainsaw?
I've got one coming at the weekend. Andy Cummins, I don't know whether you know him, Big Andy, he's got one. And he's got to lend me at the
Go and
weekend.
check, pop round and see if Eddie's got mine done. I might do that anyway, because you'll find it's handy.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
Just
Yeah,
get it done.
yeah.
I'll pop round before
Yeah, right, okay.
tomorrow Thursday.
All right, and can you get them in there?
Yes, yeah.
Those pan tiles are the ones that came off of the old cottage at the side of Phil Hardy's that was pulled down about 18 months ago.
3 years.
3 years ago, was
3
it?
years.
3 years ago.
Well, I say it was
Something like that
1987.
ago. Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I say time. It just.
Because I was scurrying to get them all loaded because Colson was coming with his bulldozer
That's
to
it.
push it all down, and I was taking them off carefully. I knew if they fell off, they'd
Yeah.
be no use. So
That's
I was on the roof throwing them down to Beryl. She was catching them and stacking them because we knew Colson was coming to,
Yeah.
but he
Right.
would have no regard for.
No
better not put
sympathy.
that
No sympathy at all. Anyway, that's another little story, you see. And so, I mean, had you not have told us, I mean, we could look at them in another 50 years' time and have no. Did they just have no meaning, would they?
Yeah.
Because that building again dated back to 1400s, I'm thinking, you know.
Well, yeah, that. I don't know. I think you've perhaps gone a little bit. Perhaps 15.
Well, maybe 15, but you
16th
see,
century, yeah.
16, I beg your pardon, it was 16, not 14. But,
Yeah, you're better with the item you're talking about in the background.
Yeah.
aren't you?
well, that is true, you see.
Well done way
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
I'll tell you, because after we got there, I took to pieces the window upstairs that was blocked up during the wind attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that's going back
So
to
that was
1800s.
Yeah.
wind attacks was 1780, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Round
yeah.
about then. And that was always known as Butcher Charles's field. And the village fair, the village feast as it was called, used to come the Saturday nearest the 5th of July and set up there with the roundabout and the swings and the coconut shies. And people used to try to have new potatoes and green peas out the garden on that Sunday. And the house you can see on the first house, the white coloured house, that was Parman's, the paper shop, news agents, and there used to be the barber as well, old Mr. Parman. And he was, with his 2 sons, they started the garage further down that John now has on Lincoln Road. Old Mr. and Mrs. Parman lived there. At one time, of course, this wall wasn't on, and this stretch of the canal, this is the Fosdyke, from the bridge to where the old swing bridge used to be, this part is known as the basin. And you can, and across it on the other side, there is just a little bit of remains of the old towpath where the horses used to pull the barges from Torquay down to Lincoln.
And they pulled that front down on the bridge there,
That's right.
didn't they?
They used to be a planked bridge round by the wall for the horses to come round on.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a shame they did away with that, you know.
Obviously, about the canal and Saxilby, in those days, it was very popular with Sheffield men for fishing.
That's true,
After being in the works all the week, they just used to come down here in the hundreds with the fishing baskets. There used to be trains pulling into the station about every quarter of an hour from about 6 in the morning.
Dorothy's dad used to say is that what
The tramp of feet just used to be like an army.
that's it. And didn't that Mrs. Thacker used to keep pub here, used to make tea for them and things like that.
All sorts of things, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I folded them up and put them in there. You're getting your photograph.
I'm damned out
You
now.
are, yes.
He does that. He does that so ladies will get hold of his hand. You know that, don't you?
This is my cousin.
I've heard that before, Harry.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
She is.
well,
It's Audrey.
oh, that's all right then.
Audrey, Leslie's wife. Well, I don't know. We've got many people who doesn't. No, Ernie likes to we talk about the old part of the village.
Yeah, yeah.
Things change and nobody keeps a record of what they are. So,
Well, there used some books in the library years ago,
yeah.
but not up to date, is it?
Yeah, well, see, this is on video, so you can watch it on telly, you know.
Oh, is it going to be on telly?
We put it on, yeah, we put it on telly.
Oh, you've got it on
We
yours.
will do. Well, you can see it now you're on it. You'll have to come and look at yourself. See how pretty
It's not
you
a
are.
pretty sight.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We'll go to co-op, are we then, Harry?
Yeah, we'll go on. Well, this was Palmer.
Oh yes, I would
You
forgot.
go stand across the street and have your photo taken.
No,
in
I'm
front of
sure
that.
I'm not. You're right.
This was Palmer's and it was double fronted. The door was in the centre, the papers on the right and the barber saloon on the left. And the big shop window. If you come a bit further,
There's Elliot's house shop down there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Bellham's
And
fish
there's
shop.
and there's
Oh, the fish shop's not there, is it?
now there's the old Roger's Bakehouse down
That's
here.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. He knows you know.
He does know. He does. He does know.
Can I show you? Tell Les you've had your photograph taken. Now, this is also interesting. The house on the right there, that was Kirby's shop. Miss Kirby and Arthur Kirby and Miss Kirby. They kept a real old-fashioned little shop, was there for ages. And down the yard, the building's no longer there, it was Roger's Bakehouse. he was to bake in the morning and he had a horse and cart, he was to take his bread out in the afternoon.
But that looks a newish building, that does. When I say newish, no,
Well, it's been renovated,
40,
of course.
50-year-old.
But it's still on the same site. But
Oh
it's
yes, oh yeah.
all been renovated. They're practically the same at the front, apart from the fact there's been some alterations. This one, the drive and the house on the left, was a well-known character, Plumber Smith. And he was what I can't remember what his Christian name was. He was always known as Plumber Smith, and that's what he was. Well-known character, plumber and painter, and that kind of thing. And the fish shop on the right, it's been altered, but it's been a fish shop for almost as long as I can remember. But when it first started, it was an ordinary house, and the range was put in what was the sitting room in them days.
That's the end.
People called Bowers had it. Oh, now when I think the house next door, no, I think maybe before Bowers, before it did start as a fish shop, a man called Sutcliffe lived there, and I reckon he sold boots now, I think. I'm not too certain about that, but it's in the back of my mind, that is. And then we come to the co-op. It's no longer the co-op, but it was a marvellous business. I was there for nearly 20 years. In the days when I was there, when I started, we had three horses and 3 carts and a little motor van. And we had horses and carts right up till 1948. I was the hostler and got the large amount of 3 and 6pence a week extra for doing it. When I first started, there was 4 of us outside, and there would be, I think there was 14 work here altogether, and by it was busy. It was a terrific business. We went round all the villages, of course.
Who else worked with you?
Oh, well, there was, the manager would be, first of all, Herbert Clark, and then Eric Tinker. The first hand was Bert Key. Miss Addis, Lil Addis was a well-known name in the co-op in them days.
Here again.
Aye. And the outside people was well known. Old Billy Gibson, Herbert Dove, and George William Dove, he was well known. Yes, we stabled 3 horses in the winter up there. Although we did get a bit modern, we did have rubber-tired carts.
And Harry Guymer worked with you?
Harry Guymer, yes. Oh, there was Harry for a while. I'm forgetting him because he went on to insurance. But Harry had a horse and cart, of course. And then we come next door.
Just before we go next door, what was that little bit about Harry and his horse?
I don't think old Harry liked. Well, he looked, see it, about Harry Guy, my old Harry. I had a horse called Charlie, and he used to bite. And one morning in the winter when we was studying them, getting them ready for the frosty road, we helped one another. Old Harry went and picked the front leg up of my horse, and I started to stud him, and he didn't like it, and he whipped out round and he bit old Harry when he was bent right over. And he left his teeth mark. And old Harry was very unhappy, and he was a bit sore as well, I'll tell you. Yeah. Oh, I remember that very well. Poor old Charlie. He was a smashing horse, but he didn't take to fresh people very well. And if he bit, you knew he had them. Yeah. In them days, with horse and cart, when you was out on the round, I mean, that was it. You was out. You just got done when you could. I mean, ours, there wasn't such a thing as a finishing time.
No.
We might be home very often out while 6 nights, 7 o'clock at night, just doing. But it was different. People in them days, you didn't have customers, you had friends, you know, everybody was your friend.
That would have been in 1930s.
Oh, that was 40. The 40s on till I was there up till 1963. Yeah, we started, as I say, with horse and cart, and then got motor vehicles, and then I got a mobile shop. But it wasn't the same as delivering with horse and cart now.
Then we go next door, we said.
We go next door. Well, that shop next door, it's been all kinds of things. It was a butcher's shop, but I remember it when I was a kid as a sweet shop, and people called Dormleys had it. Then I remember Doris's mother and father coming there, of course. Next door was Mrs. Durham. And then we got the ship kept by Rebel. I remember people called Rebel, and then Taylor keeping it. And then further down we can see the sun. And if you can just see, it was an old coaching inn. The building on the left with the motif on the wall, and which is the toilet, it was the culture house inside. There used to be stables, and on the front at the side near that window you can still see the mountain steps where the horse riders used to mount. You can just see that there. Near the window. Old coaching inn. And the next stop was Drinsey Nook, 2 miles on. Used to do 2 miles at a time. Now if we look to the right, you've got the pipe that brings the water supply from Elkley to Lincoln. I believe that came in 1912. I reckon that did.
Yes, that will be set at Typhoid in Lincoln, won't it?
And you can see the brickwork in the mountains of the old swing bridge that used to carry the main road, Lincoln, Gainsborough and Sheffield. It was just a single carriage construction. The house of where the bridge keeper lived, it's been pulled down. But it was in existence until 1937, when what called the new bridge was opened. The new bridge spanned the canal and the railway all at one go. Out, of course. There was four bakehouses in the village at that time.
But I remember when Dorothy's mum and dad used to live there, up in Top Place, they got slaughterhouse up
There was.
there, and the big wheel still up
That's
there.
right. Well, that's when that was the butcher's shop. Yeah. been set out and moorings for the boat people to stop. It brings trade to the village. And it's nice.
It's a nice picnic area now,
Isn't it?
Oh.
Yes, it's lovely across here.
And there's a new bridge yonder.
That was built between 1935 and 1937. This is where the bridge keeper's house was built. Just here. And you came over the bridge, look, and turned right, and this is the actual road of the main Gainsborough-Sheffield Road, Retford. This is the main thoroughfare in them days, up here. That was controlled by crossing gates, of course. And also, the other way, came there at a real tight left turn and went down. That's the old Skellingthorpe Road. The road used to go down there, Skellingthorpe, into the old chemical works as it was known, and to where I was brought up, Birchwood Farm. I was actually born on the site of the chemical works and then went down to Birchwood Farm.
What used to be where chemical works is then?
Well, it is a chemical, it always has been, but it gradually got bigger and bigger.
But there must have been a couple of cottages.
There was two cottages. The foreman's cottage, there was two that when you approached to go, then you went through two big posts and there's a big gate in them there. And then you turned and went down the yard, and the first house was the foreman's house. Old Mr. Dove lived there, and then there was the office where time clock was, I remember, and that kind of thing. And then there was the blacksmith shop, then the carpenter's shop, and then another cottage next to the railway that was the resident labourer's cottage. And my father was resident labourer, and I was born there.
And that's where Tom Otter was, isn't it?
Oh yes, yes, that's where Tom Otter originated from. Yes. And another point of interest that people will not remember, there used to be a row of cottages next to the sun that came end up to the street.
Where that van is?
And then where that seat is,
Oh yeah.
you have to go down there, that then pull down to Corbridge Place. But the first cottage where my uncle lived, my Uncle Bill lived, for some reason or other, it was always called a Dutch oven. I don't know why that was. Yeah.
I'll come back
Yes,
to
it was always known that Bill Butler lived in the Dutch oven, and I don't know. Cottage
on the first cottage, on the first.
on the right hand side, the white one.
Harry Butler cottage.
That's right. There's now a four-windowed cottage.
Yeah.
In 1956, when I first came here, started on the right hand side was a window with one above it, the sash type windows with 32 panes in each window. On the left hand side was the front door, and above it was a window blocked in during the window tax. And as far as I understand it, the window tax was round about 1780. I made it into a four-windowed cottage somewhere round about early 60s, I think. Yeah.
So cottage itself will date back to...
Oh yes, I once met the clerk to Lindsay County Council. That was before the Boundaries Commission, looking round, and he was looking, and he said, I can't find them, but he said, I'm certain that this row should be or is a row of listed cottages, but I never knew as much. But they go back years and years. Oh, another thing of interest, if we come a little bit further down. Now let me try to think what denomination it was. I'm pretty certain that the building you can see through there, the barn-type building, it certainly was a chapel, because the pulpit and pews was all pulled out and just round the building and taken out, and there's some round the back there now, and I'm certain it was Quakers. I'm pretty certain it was a Quakers chapel.
When would that
Because in this village, you see, there were 3 chapels and 2 churches at one time. Down Chapel Yard, there would be 3 cottages there. And in the 3 cottages, there would be 14 people. And of course there isn't now, there's only 5 people up here. At one time also, this is the fish shop now, at one time, there was a man and wife and 7 children lived in there.
in there?
Yes.
Oh, they really?
Yes. And they slept in the false roof. And before I was born, my old Uncle Bill told me that the woman that lived there with the family, she used to make what was known in them days meat ducks. They called them ducks. They used to sell penny ducks and gravy for breakfast at 5:30 in the morning.
I remember them.
You don't have to pull that, don't you, Zayne?
You get downstairs that drive and starting there's only 2 houses and there was 3. There's 2 cottages and then there's one big house you can just see through there. It used to be 3 cottages and then there's a big house at the bottom that all was full of parents and children. The 3 there was cottages to the farm, and they would probably have, probably 18 people in them. And these there would probably have 10 people. These 3 cottages there certainly had 2, 4, 7, had 11 people in them, and now there's only 3. There, that's all one house now. There is parents and 3 children live there, but the first one, I remember it, there was only 2 people lived there, but the one on the left, number 61, where Mrs. Beale lived, John Beale and his wife, that used to be the carpenters and wheelwrights, and he had his shop further up the yard, and as the farm traps went off the road, he first started one of the first car spray businesses in the area and did cars up the yard. And the 2 newish houses, there, just the 2 people now with 2 families, there used to be 5 cottages there. And I've totaled them up, and I've totaled that when I was small there was 25 people lived in them 5 cottages. And there's only 2 houses now.
And then we come to Anglers, of course.
Then you come to the Anglers, and then you come to Turners, which is builder's yard as long as I can live. And also, a little bit further down, the White House you can see past, you've got the Anglers, 2 cottages of Turners, and then the one, that is all one house now. And in 1923, when I first started school, before my Uncle Bill went to the Dutch oven, he lived in there, and he lived in the 4th cottage down. There's just one house there now with 2 people. At one time there was 5 cottages in the row. There's 5 families in it. So that's another indication of why there was the number of dwellings that's been built doesn't correspond to the increase of the population. I'll just get that thing started. Oh, there weren't quite such small windows as I thought. Oh, there must have been changed then. Now there is how the cottage that we were speaking about, the old cottages down there was, that's a painting.
I didn't like that, that's it, that's lovely that.
And that's how it was. There's the window, the blocked up window.
And that's how they were.
That's how they were.
You're having a right morning, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's good, that. Who did that painting
I
then?
can't remember.
Hey?
Who did this? Do you remember?
All the names on it. I'll show you this.
Oh, you didn't even do it, really.
You're ripping it to bits. You're ripping it to bits. The vandal.
J. Barnes, August 1955.
Oh, it's a recent one then.
Oh yes, it was like that when we went to it in 1956.
Yeah.
And it'd be early 60s when we did it.
Good.
About Charlie Bird did it, altered it. And I remember we're doing away with the front door. We had to have outward opening windows to correspond with the laws at that time to be able to get out of the house in case there was a fire.
Just go a little bit further forward, Harry, please. That's it.
The one on the left is where Grandmother Butler lived. And further down, the bungalow, you can see there, this is before I was born, of course.
The white one.
Yes, that's where Mother and Father lived for a time, in the bungalow there. And although it's not made of brick, that's how long that bungalow's been up. It would have, before, of course, we're going now down to the chemical works where I was born, and we lived down there later, which we shall come to in a minute or two.
Ready.
Right, well, this is where I was born. This is the site of the chemical works, as it's always been called. And along the road here in them days, and I can remember, you went along the road, you through the entrance of two big posts. Along and then you turn right down the yard, and starting where those buildings are, they run the entire length of buildings right down to near the railway. Turn right down the yard and you come to the first house that the foreman lived in. Called him Mr. Fred Duff.
That to be behind that lorry, would it, somewhere?
The house started at the lorry and came towards where the reception entrance is.
Yeah.
And then where the reception entrance is near enough, but again, entrance from the yard was the office, where the time clock and things were. And then was a row of, there was the carpenter's shop and the blacksmith shop, I don't know which in order. But then came another house, the house that was for the resident labourer. And my father was the resident labourer, and that's close to the railway bank, that. And I was born in that bottom house. That was 1918.
That was somewhere near Crossing House, wasn't it?
No, not quite as far. Where you can see the yellow van. You see the yellow van through the trees.
Yeah.
If we walk slowly this way, the house is about where that little low building is. That's where the house is. And that was, I was 6 when we left there. My father died suddenly that morning in July 1922. And Mother married again, my stepfather, and that was Birchwood Farm, and we moved further down to Birchwood Farm. That's where we're going now. Of course, also there was a signal box there, and the porter signalman and that kind of thing in them days. Also, to go to Lincoln, just opposite there used to be a flat-bottomed boat, and we were able to use the boat to go across to catch the local bus. And I remember before I went to school, actually going to Lincoln with Mother with the carrier's cart.
Who used to have that?
A man called Andrews from Sturton. He had a pair of greys in a pole wagon.
You knew what ferry you're doing, so you knew where that ferry is?
The boat was.
You know where that man is there?
Yes, a little flat-bottomed boat. And you used to push yourself across. And the carrier's cart ran quite a while after I started school, I can remember. Andrews from Sturton, Mr. Andrews. The bus service in them days was the Silver Queen, I remember too.
It's a pity we can't get smell on this camera, and there's smell them cows across there then.
Yeah. Of course, across the road, all that ground across there was 2 paddocks belonging to Birchwood Farm. And on this corner was the smashing garden that one of the workmen used to do.
That's where the car park is now.
Where the car park is, and right down to that grey shed was 2 paddocks belonging to Birchwood Farm. But just on there, part of the first paddock, the garden. And this first paddock used to be let in the summertime to Warreners, the coal people. They used to bring the horse and to pull the dray. Used to bring the horse and graze the horse in there. Mr. Tiny Walker used to bring the horse down. Well, this is Birchwood Farm, as you can see. This is where we came 1924 when Mother married again, and at that time there was 5 of us: Charlie, Bob, Annie, myself and Hilda, and then we got a half brother. And I worked on this farm until early 38, I believe it was. And I think it was 1939 when we sold up and retired and went to live in the village. Mother and stepfather. And this is how some of it was. The building with the sign on is existing was a loose box. The one just to the left there was the horse stable, and round the corner was the barn as it was. It was all fenced in. The fencing had gone. That was the barn. That used to was a loose box, and that used to be the barn. And the field there with the corn, and in the background rape, was all grassland. And the buildings round about, if we carry on walking, that's the end of the original barn. The next building is on the site of where the crew yard used to be. Some loose boxes and the cow shed, and the Dutch barn is an addition. The trees down that hedgerow are the same tree, that's the same hedgerow as was there when we was kids. And the outlook's about the same. And from here we used to have to walk to school, about 2.5 miles.
Which school did you go to?
We started with Saxilby Infants, that's the one just near the Anglers, and then we had to walk to the school at the top of the village. And on wet days and cold days it was a fair step.
Yeah.
Good view of Lincoln Cathedral from here. The land across the way now it belongs to Birchwood. It didn't do, it's an addition from the time we was here.
How many acres altogether then, Harry?
Well, when we was here it was 105, but the lady just said they bought just over 100 acres and put to it. We just have a walk across the front there. And have a look at the front. Just shows, you know, doesn't it? I mean, the old man was very old-fashioned, couldn't get on with him, but you know, it's what could we have been? It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does.
From that angle. It's not worth dwelling on it, but it's a point that makes you ask questions too, isn't it?
But it's a lovely clean yard, this is, isn't it?
Oh, aye, yes. Well, I remember we used to have a wheat stack here. You used to stack the wheat here, and stack the oats down here, stack the oats down here, and stack the barley down there. The clover seeds, as we used to commonly call, were stacked there, so they was near to the stable, and these stacks was stacked here so they was near for carrying corn into the barn and up the granary, and the barley as well, and it was all thrashed this way, so all the straw stacks was round this area near to the crew yard, carrying into the beef. Down here was a pond that drained from the house, the sink and thing from the house. And there was a bit of an old tap coming in here. And just here, when we was 12 onwards, when we'd all the potatoes for the pigs potatoes, we used to be here. I used to have to wash them in an old copper, and every Saturday morning carry them across, and you see the chimney to that place. There was a big copper inside. You used to have to boil a couple of coppers full of potatoes for the pigs. And when they was done and steamed on top, they used to be nice to eat as well. You used to have to do that every Saturday morning in the winter time, and particularly coming up to Christmas when we was fattening pigs for Christmas. This was the the pig meal house where we used to have the potatoes that we used to do. There's pig houses up along here with doors, feeding doors opening outwards. Mix the pig stuff in there and feed them along here. And go into one of the crew yards just down here. And round the yard we used to have Swedes and things during the winter for feeding the store cattle in the crew yard. Of course these Dutch barns wasn't there then. Didn't have tractors either. All horses.
How many do you used to have?
Generally at 3 or 4. Three usually. Sometimes if we were breaking one, that's what the loose box was for. Very often had 4. My stepfather wouldn't hear of having a tractor on the land. Yeah. Lot of hard work gone on here, Ernest.
Well, how's that?
Because the house was only half as big as being one part put on it, and that surprises me because it was a 5-bedroomed house before.
It's only one house, is it?
Yeah. Where this part stand used to be the old-fashioned courtyard, you know, and the pump was in. Water from the pump, you know. One thing we did when we were there, we lived on.
Oh yes. That's about it then?
Yes, that's fine. That's lovely.
Good.
What memories it's brought back.
Oh well, it did with Sid when he went around.
Yeah.
And when we get to Henry, we'll have a few more memories.
Yeah, it's terrific, it is. Handsome.
We'll go back again.
Because you see, I was 6 and I was 18, I was 19 when I left. Thank you very much indeed. That old tree brings back memories. There used to be a big drain down there on the right hand side, all the way to the crossing. It had willow bushes in it, and the springtime of the year full of water hens. We used to, although we'd plenty of hens' eggs, we used to look out for water hens' eggs, would you believe?
Now, when you're ready.
Right, just go here. Came through here on the 1st of July 1944. Along here. the afternoon. Got married in this church on that day. Came, stood out outside the doors with Madge. 1944 that was.
I bet you were dressed different to that though.
Yes, I'm a little bit tidier than what I am now. Yeah, the Reverend Mann married us. Smashing parson that.
But the clothes don't make a man,
No.
Harry, do they?
No, very good was
And what vicar's name did you say?
Mr. Mann, the Reverend Mann.
Man.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Mickey.
Yeah, why he was great though.
Sorry?
Some people used to poke fun at him a bit, but believe me, he was smashing. He was great, the Reverend Mann. I've nothing praise to say about that man when you knew what he would go without himself to go to a needy family. But that day he married us, he gave us a smashing service.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, of course we finished up with Christine, 2 granddaughters, Karen and Sharon. I stood on the television now, smashing photographs that.
We'll have another picture of that when we go in
The
there.
result of coming out that door on the 1st of July 1944.
Madge ought to have been there, didn't she?
Yeah. Right.
We just have a
His mother
sweet...
and father are buried in the churchyard here.
We'll be in this old part.
My father is somewhere down there, and my mother is down there somewhere too. Yeah. And in the far, in the new burial ground, my brother older than me, Bob, he's buried here too. Dean, where Madge worked for 7 years.
When would that have been roughly?
She worked on 56 from about 49. 49 until she went to the fish shop. Yeah. The headmaster when I went to school, they called him Mr. Bartlett. But the headmaster when Madge was in the canteen was Reg Stocks. That's his name. I'm not.
No.
I've got to say, I'm not one for visiting graveyards.
No. Well, that's it then, we'll get off.
Madge maybe not now. They might be able to find my brother because they put him a stone up.
Well, no, that's fair enough. We'll just go by and have a look at school, shall we?
Yeah, I would rather actually.
Yeah.
I'm not. He did have a wooden cross up for father, but it's evidently gone. that's the school.
Just go stand up against sign, Harry, please.
The two porches are still there. The porch on the left was the boys' entrance, and this of course was the girls, and there was a fence down the middle. This is segregated at playtime. We've been to Birchwood Farm and think we used to walk from Birchwood Farm right up to here. Lovely. I left school in 1932. Very good. Smashing. This is just a little memory shot for Ken, Madge's brother. Thought he just might like to remember where he used to work. And he was a bit of a tip before he went in the Navy. This is Shaw's farmyard round Church Lane. So we just drop off and let him have a shot of the old place as it is now. There we are, man. You'll be interested to see that. And tell you about it as we go towards it.
Go on then.
When you're ready.
You ready?
So, this is Ivy Cottage on the corner of Sykes Lane and Hodgkins Lane. This is where Madge's mother and father lived. They came here from Ardwick in 1931 and Madge's mother was here until round about 1980. We lived with them after we got married for a while. It was in this house that Christine was born. This was Ken's home as well. This is, apart from being in Ardwick and then coming here. This is where he lived until he joined the Navy. In them days, well known though, but those two. Madge's mother this side and Mr. and Mrs. Andrews the other side.
Do you want to go across?
And that's Ivy Cottage. No, as long as we've got it, that's all that matters.
I'll just have a look all the way round so it...
Yes, well you can see down the lane. There's more Hodgkins if you want to. It's just interesting to get ivy cottages on. That is now the stair people, but Madge worked across there when it was the Danish bacon factory.
Oh, wow,
When the Danish bacon did the deliveries from there.
How many years since is that? Since Danish bacon came there?
Well, because they were there early 40s, so whether they came there just before
50
the war.
years, they're talking about 50 years.
Yes, they are.
And these are new tennis courts, aren't they?
Yes, them belong to yours. No relation.
Because one of them got blown away. Which one was it?
I don't know. It was while we was away on holiday.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, when we lived there, there's some big ties round at the back. We used to keep a couple of pigs. We used to kill one and send one away to the market.
Mm.
Yeah. Down the lane at the side, just here to the right, is up to Frank Hotchkins's farm over the crossing.
Never been up that lane, you know.
Oh, there is a pair of cottages on the way. And also it's a short cut across to Hardwick, if they let you go across the field. I fetched him for the stand in the front.
How do you do?
How do you do? Are you the landlord?
Oh, no.
Good morning.
I'm the landlady.
Oh, you're the landlady?
Yes.
How are you?
All right, thank you. Are you?
Yes, thank you, yeah.
How are you ready to be?
I don't think so anyway. Not really. Isn't it lovely? Hey?
Been up to church, I can't remember if Father and Mother buried.
Would you like to stand against your wife, Mr. Warren? So there's a 2 roses between a thorn, is it?
Oh, was Mr. Warren?
Hello?
Come on here, Peter.
Having a photograph taken.
Hmm.
In posterity now. I'll move out.
Hmm.
They're buried somewhere on the right-hand side, aren't they?
No, where Father is near enough. No, but I can't remember where.
We're on up north tonight.
No.
Yes.
They got us.
Yes, I've got you
Yes.
now, thank you very much. Are you potting, plant potting?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
Have you
pleased you
seen
come
my
because
flower?
can you do with a few tomatoes?
We could do with a few tomatoes, yes.
Right.
Have you seen my flower? Have you seen
Yeah,
my,
I got. You let's have one of that.
have you seen my pretty flower? You see my pretty flower, look.
I'll do in a minute.
Yeah, is it smashing?
Oh, right, it is. What is it?
Azalea.
Azalea.
Oh, yeah. Ain't it gorgeous?
Get one of that and a lion's. You can?
Lion? Where's he gone? Oh, is he?
He's there, bless him.
I think you'd already got him,
No, I've
haven't
got
you?
the dog. No, I don't really like it.
It's nice, isn't it?
It is, it's lovely.
Smashing. Oh, go and sit down, it's on your hands.
Have you got any ants this year yet?
Yes.
Oh, are you?
We have. We've got
Yes, we
hundreds
have.
of them.
Oh!
Look at them all over the floor. There's one there. I'm not sitting here. They might jump up at me, might they?
They might even do that.
Fun.
So we've been to Birchwood.
Oh, have you? Oh.
Anything to any weight while you did?
I didn't fill any muck and I didn't fiddle any tape. I'll tell you what I did do. I did a couple of copies of tape, so
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, did you take the salt with you?
Oh, it's nice, isn't it?
the old pig house is the same.
Is it?
Oh, yes,
The
well, we
stable's
noticed.
still there and the box and the barn.
Ah, we've noticed that when we've gone by. And the barn's still there.
Yeah, and where the crew yard was, the bottom shed. And then you get two Dutch barns.
Oh.
Certainly a big place now.
And yeah,
Oh, yes.
I'll find you some tomatoes because
Yeah.
at least make some room.
We'll go round back in a minute and have a look in your greenhouse. Are you there?
Well,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes, we go, you know, past a
She said
lot.
we could tell what when I went and asked them if we could have a look round. She said, yeah, we'll potter about where you like.
You
What's
know,
it there on their own?
No, there was somebody in the house, I don't know. She said her son lived in the village.
Oh, yeah, there's where Harvey Keyleth was, next to Frank Vikey.
Oh,
Apart from spending a bit of time
the
outside.
garden looks a mess now, the daffodils have
I
done.
don't know where, but
Isn't it?
Oh, Dorothy's cutting tops off her house. I think.
we'll give ours a bit longer.
how did she say he'd been dead 15 years, did she, Annie?
15.
Yeah.
Sandy.
Yeah.
A long time. Well, we're just saying how time passes, how
Yeah,
quickly
yeah.
time passes.
And yeah, that's what you...
Get off, I said, I don't think there's no time. Rather a restaurant, rather a mess.
Is it Market Garden then, is it?
Yeah.
Are you selling that?
Hey,
Are you selling that?
right, let me walk across here.
Selling it. It's going to put it on,
Right.
it's going to put it on the tap, aren't you?
Yeah.
And this is your stall, is it, madam?
Yes. Nice stall.
What's he set you on doing?
They're Viscara. Look at that. I don't know
Oh,
what
what's
you...
these garden centres? Oh, that looks pretty on the packet. Well, that's one of them.
Viscara. Yeah.
And it's got no end in there. And you see, I've got to pick them all. Pick them out. Well, I haven't got to do it. I said I'd help him this afternoon. And this is all Mr.
Very kind of you.
You'd never get them done if I didn't.
Yeah. Very good, yes. Yeah, let's go and have a look and see what sort of tomatoes you like.
Well, I'll leave you to get the wiring this bit on now.
Yeah,
I'll see you around
yeah,
home.
yeah. Well,
I'll just go back down the path.
thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
look
leave
around.
you to get your photograph taken, and then you can come
Let me
and
get
sit on
some,
the telly when you go.
blocks.
See you later.
Right-o, sound along.
I'll leave you to carry on.
Alligator. I don't think that one was gone.
Am I putting in?
Pardon?
Oh.
No, you keep, forget me.
Forget him. How can you forget him?
Come on, got some in here. You got some tackle in here.
Yeah.
Deep enough.
Sorry?
I'll have some of the beer, please.
This. Look at that.
Oh, it's bigger.
Different kinds then, have you? How many different kinds have you got there?
What tomatoes?
Yeah.
3 mil, and then I had 4 more given me yesterday. Last night.
Right, don't overdo it. Yeah, they're lovely plants, aren't they? Thanks for that. That's enough.
How will them be?
Not feel it very nice.
They don't anymore.
No, half a dozen. I don't want to have too many, you see. It's well, half a dozen. That's nice, huh? Because it don't taste better than a homegrown tomato.
No. Well, these.
What have you, any idea?
Them 2 are Fortuners, I can tell you that. They've got a bit of white fly to start with, haven't they? These don't look like tomatoes, they're Fortuners. I'll put you 2 in.
You're fortunate if it turned out to be tomato.
Tell them here. Against ordinary tomatoes.
You've not got much wasted space in there, that's a fact.
You better have one of them than not. It's not
You?
2 on them.
Thank you. You have no left to tell me, Freddy.
Go on, look at you.
You'd be surprised, Ernie, how you've had some given him last night.
I was going to say, where's he going to keep his own there?
He had some more given him last night. This is a tedious job.
It is. When when you come to consider what these here nursery people do, set it seed and then,
Oh, what's in that bottle? Warm? Oh, but that's a bit... Straight from the pot. It's nasty, this. It's not particular, is it?
no.
Potatoes don't mind me. No.
Oh, there's not a lot of spare room in here, is there? Is it jasmine?
Jasmine.
I like looks on them, but I don't like the smell on them, I'm afraid.
Oh, no, they smell all over the place.
Yes, it's a nice plant. Have you grown tomatoes from seed, Henry?
Yes. There's one of them Bulgarians what Madge brought from Bulgaria. I cut the tomato on there and then sow the seeds at spring.
Which one were they then? Can I have a look, please?
Fun?
Which one were they? That Bulgarian one?
These are the Bulgarians.
That's
There's a bull on it. And those originate from Jugs, 30 years since, Jug shop.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking to him this morning.
What, tell you?
Yeah.
Well, it was his uncle.
And Harry was telling me that used to be a pub there. I didn't know that.
Yes, yes.
Globe.
The glow.
Yeah. Oh, we've had a nice little walk round this morning. You'll see it all eventually, and then.
It's a bit vicious.
Do you keep it in house or do you keep...
No, it's been in the greenhouse all winter.
I generally take it in when it's flowering, and then it's in the winter in the greenhouse. Keep it in there in the winter.
Pretty little flowers on them.
They don't last long.
Don't they?
No. No, they're pretty, but that's about all. And if you don't mind, you get it all in your fingers.
We've been up to churchyard and Harry was saying us, he went in and I followed him, you see, and he said on July the 1st, 1944, this is where we were going to get wedlock. And anyway, we stood against church door, or he is, and I said to him, were he dressed, were he a bit, you know, dressed up a little bit more than what he was just then?
Just a little. Well, we'd be married 49 this year.
49,
It's our golden next year.
Did you get wed in village?
Yes. Yes. We did.
And how many years did you spend down at Birchwood? Well, from leaving school that you wanted to.
Yes, I was.
I did say, can't really remember now, it's were it 1934 when you left?
No, Pa's retired in 39.
34, oh, it might have been 39 then, I thought 34 coming in mind.
He retired when the war started.
Or was it the following April?
When?
Well, was it Birchwood when war had declared?
Yes. Yes, well, it held up to...
Looks very restful.
Yeah.
Very restful there.
I've had 2 busy days. 3 busy days.
That's good. Now, where's Madam gone? She's gone now. Where's she gone?
This is my pew, this. This is where I sit, isn't it? You sit that side.
Really? It's that clock. How long have you had that clock then? It's nice, isn't it?
Just after Christmas.
We got it after Christmas. But Henry wanted his grandmother clock. Doesn't it?
You're taking a picture of the swinging pendulum.
Right, that's evidence.
It is evidence, isn't it?
We're coming to it.
Have you seen, you know, oh, I've done it.
Fire, and your bag of coal. Yeah, it's seen that. It is a lovely clock, isn't it, that? Have you got a video recorder?
No.
Oh, so you've got to either go up to Kathleen's or Harris to see it then, haven't you?
Harry generally puts it on. We've got the stand, We've made a start.
Oh, well done. Well done. Mind you, Harry's got a satellite up at
Live where, have a sweet shop where the Chinese are now.
Can you just once more, just point to Bob again, please? It doesn't seem to be very plain for some reason. Oh, that's better now. And then 1924 we said, didn't we?
Yes.
And whereabouts is that? Is it in village school or at Thorney? Where is it?
Oh no, village, Saxilby.
Oh, Saxilby.
Yes, Saxilby.
Where you've been today.
And that would be up at the top one.
Yeah.
Because you went to the infant school until you were 7. From 5 to 7. There was a house, you know, at the bridge.
Which bridge?
Where there's old swing
Where
bridge
there's new
used to
bridge
be.
gone over.
Swing bridge? Oh,
Where
wow.
that new bridge is gone.
Oh, well, Harry pointed or stood on the site of that this
Yes,
morning.
well I can show you it on a photograph.
But we'll get these, to have proper photograph would be handy on them. Again now do it again please.
There's the house.
That's the lock keepers, swing bridge is here.
Yes, that's right. There's the sun.
Oh, and a sailboat coming through, look.
Yes, yes, there's a...
Picture from the past, the craft, what did it say? Oh, the fuzz dyke, that's it, Saxilby.